Welcome back, everyone. Great to have you here. If you're tuning in on a Sunday when this show debuts, I appreciate you checking out the questions when they go live, and we've got hopefully another great show for you. So each and every weekend, answering our community's questions. I try to get to 6 questions every Saturday and 6 more every Sunday. And of course, these questions are answered in the order they come in the essence of time, to make sure we get to as many questions as possible in as much depth as we can. I am going to dive right in. If you're new to the show, of course, you can go to stephencabral.com/podcast and check out all the previous shows. That will always give you more of a breadth of knowledge from everything that we're going through. But of course, you can always search out individual shows as well with the search box. If you want to follow along with today's questions, we can actually go through those at stephencabral.com/2011. Today's episode 2011. So without further ado, let's get into our first question. And the first question today is from Chantel. Chantel says, "Dear Dr. Cabral, what is the best way to lose belly fat? I'm an active 38-year-old female, no kids, healthy weight, working out regularly, meditate, do not smoke or drink, eat whole food, plant-based diet. I'm pretty much perfect, haha. I have muscle fiber definition all of my body, but there's a layer of fat over my stomach that I can't just get rid of. I do have some digestive issues, so when I'm bloated, my belly looks huge and it makes me very self-conscious. Any advice you would have would be appreciated. Thanks so much, Chantel." All right. 38 years old, female, works out, healthy, excellent. Just want to kind of lose that last little bit of weight. So I actually did a podcast on this, how to lose that. I think it's called How to Lose the Last 5 Pounds. And for the most part, it doesn't have to do with doing more of the same. Like, you can't really do more cardio. If you're doing cardio now, great. You can't really do more working out. Because if you're doing 4 or 5 days a week, then you're good. What are you going to do? One more day to really get it? Probably not. And if you're already, eating good on point nutrition, then that's probably not going to be more. So what do we need to do? We need, 1, to look at water retention. Number 2, we need to look at blood sugar levels. Number 3, we need to look at cortisol. Number 4, we need to look at the digestive system. So we can narrow it down and we can figure out exactly what to do. So if you have higher levels of cortisol, it's going to be naturally raising your glucose levels. It's going to be adding belly fat. We don't want that. So you want to run a lab called the stress hormones, mood, and metabolism. But at the same time, you also want to run the starter kit. The starter kit's going to look at your overall stress levels on that minerals and metals test, and then it's going to look at your digestive function on the Candida metabolic and vitamins test, plus 71 other biomarkers. I mean, it's very, very impressive lab test. So that's what I recommend. Now, those are the 3 labs. If you want to run the big 5, all of those are included. So I would run the big 5. I mean, it's the best bang for your buck, no doubt about it. So that's what I would do. And what else? Can I make another suggestion? Well, you can also do a 7 to maybe 14-day detox. Excuse me. And the reason I say that is if you lose the weight and you're feeling great after that 7-day or 14-day or 21-day, whatever you decide to do, and you then listen to the podcast, How Not to Retox After Detox, you'll be able to keep all of those results. So a lot of different options for you, Chantel, and I know one of them for sure is going to work for you. All right, Laura is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I tried to find it on previous episodes, but with no luck. So I'm writing in on behalf of my friend. He's got plantar fibromitosis, and he's sometimes in a lot of pain and has been advised to do surgery, but doesn't want it. Could you explain this condition a bit more? Why does it occur, and what would you recommend? Thank you so much for everything you do. You're absolutely amazing. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody appreciates wishing them a good day. So what do you want to do? Well, let's talk about what's plantar fibromitosis. All right. So a lot of people have heard about plantar fasciitis before, which is basically in the bottom of your foot, you have a very thick set of tendons, and it's not just one, it's multiple that make up the plantar tendon. And this is essentially a sheath of fibrous material on the bottom of your foot that runs right where the arch is. And if it gets tight, you end up with a lot of pain, literally a lot of pain, and that's plantar fasciitis. But A lot of people say, oh, it's genetic, it's this, it's that. Sure. I mean, everything's genetic, right? But you had to do something in order for those genetics to come to fruition. So plantar fasciitis, it got tightened up because you don't have a lot of ankle mobility. You have a lot of calf tightness, Achilles tightness. So you need to work on those things, of course, and it can get better. And same with massage on the bottom of the foot. You can roll with a ball. You can use your hand. Now, plantar fibromitosis is a little bit different. So basically, fibromas or hard tissues, benign tumors, tend to accumulate in the same type of area. Now, usually surgery is recommended to remove those because they're starting to become larger and inhibit walking or mobility with the bottom of that foot. The problem is, if you don't fix what caused them in the first place, you're most likely just going to grow more every single year, meaning like they start small and they grow and they grow and they grow. So what I recommend is again, this is not medical advice. So let me just give my statement. Not medical advice, no cures, no treatments, no medical advice, right? That's what I have to say. Okay. So if it were me, I would personally use things like proteolytic enzymes, such as Florafilm, 2 in the morning, 2 before bed, on an empty stomach. I would be doing deep tissue massage in that area to break up that fibrous tissue as much as I could. I would also be working on ankle mobility. I'd be working on calf stretching. I would make sure that I'm not sleeping with my foot in a flexed base position. Sometimes you have to wear a brace or things like that to keep that foot a little bit more stretched. That's what I would do. Then if they just weren't going away, what I would do is say, okay, we need to have those removed, but I'm going to make sure they never come back. And I'm going to keep up with my ankle mobility, my foot stretching, the self-massage on the bottom of the foot, and just, make sure the body gets healthy. Again, run a big 5. I don't know what's going on with this person's body to create that much inflammation, but certainly you want to look at that as well. So Laura, at least a place to get started. Jamie's up next. Hi, Dr. Ball. Another quick question. After thanking you again for all you and your awesome team do, I've been a part of the community now for over 3 years, and it's changed my life and will subsequently change my children's lives, maybe even my team's lives once they are sick and hearing my changed diet, etc. So happy to hear that, Jamie, and a heartfelt thank you to you as well. So this year you decided to get serious and finish up your internal health journey. Regular strength exercise is next. So to do the CBO, heavy metal, and mold protocols, I didn't need the distraction of alcohol, so I decided to make 2021 alcohol-free. Almost 6 months in, so COVID's made it easier. As a result, I needed the occasional go-to drink for celebration and stumbled across freestar.co. Seems awesome and tastes incredible. It's like if you like beer, but I wondered what are the potential downsides on it and ingredients, therefore, what's a reasonable intake? I mean, I think I might make this a permanent social drink, preference in the future. Ingredients below, thank you. Ingredients are all natural and highest quality, include purified water, malted barley, gluten-free, hops, and blend of other natural ingredients. 10 parts per million of gluten in the finished product, and to be officially gluten-free, you need to be under 10 parts per million, 0% alcohol in process and product. Well, Jamie, first of all, I mean, you're doing amazing. So this sounds really, really great. And I like exactly what you're doing. So it's basically water, barley, and hops are typically generally gluten-free. So the only thing that you need to watch for is the blend of other natural ingredients. Like, what are those other natural ingredients? And so just ask them, is it non-GMO? Like, is this non-GMO? Is it organic barley? And if it's not, and you're only doing this once per week, no big deal. But it is a big deal if you're doing this multiple drinks per week or you're doing it every day, because barley and hops and those types of things may be heavily sprayed with pesticides. So ideally non-GMO, ideally organic if they have it. Check what the other natural ingredients are. Natural ingredients are not something to fear. A lot of people say, oh, it has natural flavors, and because there are people out there, of course, who try to scare you. Natural flavors from genetically modified corn and things like that are bad. But natural flavors can simply be organic vanilla extract, organic apple extract, and it legally has to be labeled as natural flavor because it's not the actual food itself. So that's what the FDA makes your label as. So Jamie, hopefully that was helpful. And Yeah, and that's that. I mean, I don't think that I would do this every day if I were you. I mean, if it were me, I should say, I wouldn't do it every day. But if this were replacing a Friday night or Saturday night social-based event, all right, no problem. All right, Mackenzie's up next. Hey, and again, I just want to say, my go-to, if I don't want to drink alcohol, it's soda water, it's a splash of cranberry, and a couple squeezes of lime. That's it. That's my social go-to. It looks like a vodka cranberry drink. It's very tasty because I never drink cranberry juice, even though it's just a splash. And it satisfies me going out. So hopefully that's helpful. Mackenzie's up. Hi, I'm getting surgery and I'm worried about taking antibiotics. If you have to take them, what are the best things to do to take to reduce the damage it does to your gut? All right. Happy to answer this again. Answered this a bunch of times. I'm always happy to answer it again. I really am. But you can find this answer literally within a minute by going to stephencabral.com/podcast and just type in antibiotics. You'll be able to find it. This was written in on June 20th. That's why I mentioned this, because I know that today is August 8th. All right. So just wanted to give you that little shout out that, you could have this answer previous, but let's answer for you, right? You waited, you asked the question. If it were me, I would be doing clean gut probiotic and healthy gut support. And that's what I would do. I have chosen to never use antibiotics in my life unless it's a life-saving condition. That's it. I already took my share for 10 lifetimes. I don't need it anymore, right? But if you have to, life-saving condition, surgery, yeah, you take antibiotics. I totally get it. So what do you do? If it were me and I had to have that, and maybe I will one day. Again, like you never know, right? I'm not going to wish it upon myself or anything like that. Life happens. Okay. Clean gut probiotic, 2 bottles. Healthy gut support, 2 bottles. That's what I would do, right? And I would take it, if you can, 4 to 6 hours away from the antibiotics, even though it's going to kill a lot. It's okay. And then just continue it on for the next 6 weeks after antibiotics. Okay. All right. And clean gut probiotic, 1 upon waking, 1 before bed on an empty stomach, or again, just away from your antibiotics. Healthy gut support, 1 scoop every single day. Jamie's up. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Much shorter thank you this time, but again, thank you absolutely everything and your amazing team do. If we wanted to check periodically that there were no tumors, benign or not, or anything like that growing anywhere in our bodies, should we do a periodic 5-year CT scan, or what other tests along with a standard functional medicine test for our general health should we be doing that would likely pick something up? I'm not worried, but I have too many friends or colleagues who suddenly found a tumor and it was a bit late. Okay. Yeah, this is a great question. So it's one of those things I like to share with people and say, we have to be careful how much we keep our mind on this as well. But once a year, I run all my blood work. If something's off, and again, nothing major, but if something's off, then I'll run it again about 3 or 4 months later after I've made subtle corrections or tweaks. Or, if it was just, it could be anything random, dehydration or whatever. Okay, if you want to put your mind at ease, run it a month later, So I'm going to link up. I never typically link up on these podcasts, but there's so much that you could do that this is more of like a hereditary thing as well. Let's say that you had cancer that ran in your family for breast or prostate or lung or anything. What this does is it breaks it down by the part of the body and all the different exams that you could have. And I've given this out to people individually. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to link it up today. And again, you can go back to previous podcasts. I wrote down cancer tests that you can do some blood-based tests. But this is at cancer.net. And these are all medical-based lab tests. So why don't we do this? We're going to have you go to stephencabral.com/2011. And we'll link that up there for the cancer screening test. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We already hit our 6 questions. All right, I want to do one more though, because we just got a little bit of time. I want to add one more question. All right, Mackenzie's up. Can you cure H. pylori without a total diet change? I have a lot of events going on and cannot do a cleanse, but I would like to try to kill the H. pylori with the suggestions you made on foods to include and supplements. Okay, first of all, we don't treat any diseases, right? We work on the underlying root cause imbalances. For H. pylori, we look at it as a bacteria. Now, again, we don't treat that. We work on bacteria. So typically, If people have H. pylori, they typically have other issues going down further in the gut because it's thrown off their stomach acid. We typically do citracidal drops plus the CBO protocol, okay? And then we add in 2 months of mastic gum, and that's basically 2,000 milligrams a day, 1,000 milligram twice a day on an empty stomach. Typically, they're always done upon waking and before bed. And that's what we do. And honestly, I don't want to add more to it because that's exactly what we do. So if you ever have any questions on that specifically as well, CBO protocol or where to find the mastic gum, head on over and you can just email support@equi.life. And that's EQUI.LIFE. That's where all the labs are. If you want to test for H. pylori, if you think you have it, that's the stool test over at equi.life/labs. That's it, everyone. I appreciate you. One more week of the Cabral concept in the books with our Cabral HouseCalls, finishing up the week. Tomorrow, I'll be back with our Motivation and Mindset Monday. Take care, stay tuned, and I'll talk with you soon.